There was a time I didn't realize I was hiding. I smiled on cue, said the right things, fit into the shape others expected me to be, until one day I felt hollow. Exhausted, not from doing too much, but from constantly holding back the parts of me that were real. This book was born in that moment. The Courage to be Seen, written and published by Mindful Literary, is not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you to tone it down, toughen up, or shrink to fit. It's about coming home to the you that's always been there, loud, raw, tender, powerful. This isn't a self-help guide. It's a mirror, a nudge, a truth you already know, waiting to be heard again. You don't have to be fearless to be seen. You just have to be brave enough to show up. Introduction: The Mask We Forgot We Were Wearing. A personal story. The first time I realized I was hiding, even from myself. It started with a feeling so subtle, a whisper in the back of my mind that grew louder with every breath. I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror, yet I didn't recognize the person staring back. The reflection wore a smile, but the eyes betrayed a deeper truth, an unsettling awareness creeping in like dawn's first light. I realized, in that fragile moment, that I had been draping myself in layers of expectations, roles, and personas that no longer felt like me. Each veil I had wrapped around myself was crafted from the fabric of others' opinions, woven into the very essence of who I thought I needed to be. Instead of freeing myself, I had been building walls, and that moment felt torturous, yet illuminating. This spark of recognition was bittersweet. I longed to shed these layers, but the fear of vulnerability loomed large, clenching my heart like a vice. It was as if I had been dancing in the shadows, mesmerized by the performance, yet dreading the moment the curtain would be drawn back. Awareness bloomed alongside a wave of grief for the hidden parts of me, the ones that had been silenced or tucked away. Growing up, I had learned that to be accepted, I needed to play a part, and I excelled in my artistry. But now, the mask felt heavy, stifling my breath, choking my spirit. There was a battle within me, a yearning for authenticity tangled with a fear of rejection. Could I strip away the disguise and allow my true self to emerge, raw and unrefined? As days slipped by, the realization that I had been hiding became both my anchor and my compass. This recognition forced me to confront my own narrative, a story molded by external validation and the searching gaze of others. I began to question not only who I was, but who I wanted to be, without the clutches of expectation suffocating my dreams. Each step towards authenticity was like peeling back an onion, revealing layers of fears, desires, and long-buried hopes that I had forgotten or chosen to overlook. This journey was raw. It demanded vulnerability and honesty. The longing to be seen, truly seen, surged within me, a powerful tide that swept away the comfort of pretense. I started to embrace the notion that authenticity isn't polished or perfect. It is messy, complicated, and real. Each time I shed a piece of my facade, I felt lighter, more connected to myself and to others. I began sharing my truth with the world, a trembling voice that grew bolder with each spoken word. In the sacred spaces of conversations, I found reflection in the eyes of others who too had worn similar masks, validating our collective experience of hiding and yearning. This awakening encouraged me to create a new narrative, one where acceptance began with self-love rather than external approval. Going forward, I learned the importance of honoring all parts of myself, even those I felt least comfortable with. A practical approach emerged. Journaling became my sanctuary, my place to untangle thoughts and embrace what I found difficult to articulate vocally. With each written word, I discovered hidden truths, reminding myself that authenticity is not a destination, but an ongoing journey. I invite you to begin writing your own truth, allowing the ink to flow freely. And remember that in vulnerability lies the ultimate strength to be yourself, unapologetically. The quiet exhaustion of pretending. Every day begins with a mask, a seamless smile painted over an aching heart. The world expects a persona, a facade that we can wear like comfortable clothing. It seems harmless at first, an act that allows us to navigate through life's complexities. But with every smile that doesn't reach our eyes and every "I'm fine" that echoes in hollow spaces, we chip away at the very essence of who we are. The exhaustion sets in gradually, creeping up like shadows at dusk, reminding us that desperately clinging to untruths requires energy. It steals our breath. Every simple task morphs into an extraordinary effort, and beneath the surface, our true selves scream for relief, yearning for authenticity. Yet, the fear of judgment, rejection, and the weight of expectations keep us shackled to this performance. We bury ourselves under layers of social niceties, hoping no one will see the cracks. Each pretense feels like carrying stones in our pockets, slowly dragging us down into an abyss of emotional fatigue. Pretense wraps around us like a heavy blanket, stifling the vibrant colors of our spirit. We become mere shadows of our true selves, flickering faintly like candles in a storm. Our light, which once shone brightly, becomes buried under layers of insincerity. The effort it takes to maintain this illusion is staggering. It chips away at our sense of belonging and joy, replacing genuine connections with hollow interactions. We find ourselves caught in a loop, a cycle of fear and weariness, disillusioned by the very notion of acceptance. As we hide behind our facades, we forsake our individuality, trading authenticity for acceptance. We forget that vulnerability is not the enemy, but rather the doorway to true connection. It is within this struggle that we often lose sight of our dreams, passions, and the essence that makes us uniquely ourselves. Embracing authenticity may expose us to vulnerability, but it also opens the door to a richer, more fulfilling life. To breathe, truly breathe, we must relinquish the need for perfection and allow ourselves the grace to be human. Consider this. Carve out moments to embrace your truth. Reflect on the aspects of your life that feel heavy with pretense. Invite authenticity into your daily interactions, however small. Share a genuine smile, express a real thought, or simply allow silence when words feel too heavy. Each act of honesty is like shedding a layer of that heavy blanket, illuminating the path back to your true self. What being seen really means, and why it terrifies us. Visibility is more than just a physical presence. It is a profound connection to both ourselves and others. When we allow ourselves to be seen, we extend an invitation to experience a deeper understanding of our own truths. It is an opening of the heart, a shedding of the layers we often drape over ourselves to hide from the world. This act of vulnerable exposure reveals our essence, our hopes, and our wounds. Being seen is an intricate dance of authenticity that requires immense courage. It asks us to step out of the shadows, to embrace the rawness of our existence, and to confront not only our individual selves, but also our collective humanity. In that space, we can find healing, unity, and comfort in shared experiences. But this beautiful connection is often fraught with fear, as stepping into visibility can feel like standing on the edge of a vast canyon, with uncertainty swirling below. Examining the fears and societal pressures that inhibit true visibility reveals a landscape of daunting challenges. The weight of expectations, both self-imposed and from the world around us, can feel like chains wrapped around our very being. We've been conditioned to perform, to fit neatly into the boxes that society creates for us. We fear the judgmental gaze of others, the scorn of a world that doesn't always embrace difference. This pressure to conform stifles our authentic voices, leaving us feeling like ghosts in our own lives. The very act of being seen transforms from a path to liberation into a minefield of anxiety. We wrestle with the possibility of rejection or ridicule, fearing that our truths might not align with the prevailing narratives that surround us. In these moments, the desire for connection becomes overshadowed by the fear of isolation, leading us to retreat into the shadows we so desperately long to escape. Yet, understanding the essence of visibility offers a vital key to unlock our innate potential for connection. The journey towards embracing our true selves requires us to confront the fears that keep us hidden. Recognizing that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a profound strength shifts the narrative we tell ourselves. Each time we take a step forward, revealing ourselves to the world, we encourage others to do the same. It is through this raw exchange that we cultivate a space of understanding and acceptance. Practicing small acts of visibility, sharing our stories, expressing our feelings, or simply being present can transform the way we see ourselves and others. As we shine a light on our authentic selves, we create a ripple effect that empowers everyone. Striving for visibility might feel terrifying, but it is within that fear that we find the potential for true connection, community, and healing. Acknowledging the communal heart behind this exploration of authenticity is essential. Each of us carries stories, memories, and experiences that shape who we are, intertwining our lives in ways we often overlook. As we dive deeper into the concept of authenticity, we discover that it is not a solitary journey. It becomes a collective movement, a symphony of voices resonating with one another. There is power in recognizing the shared human condition, where vulnerability transforms into strength. In this space of communal heart, we realize our struggles and triumphs are echoed in the lives of others. This awareness encourages us to embrace our truths, casting away the fear of judgment that weighs heavily on our spirits. When we acknowledge that our individual narratives contribute to a greater tapestry, we open ourselves to the profound beauty found in our collective journey towards authenticity. As you embark on this journey of self-expression, remember that every story you share is an invitation for others to embrace their truth. Take a moment to reflect on what makes your narrative unique: the joys, the sorrows, the lessons learned along the way. Write as if no one will read it, but with the hope that your voice will resonate. Allow your words to mingle with the collective heartbeat of humanity. This practice cultivates an environment where authenticity thrives, granting us the courage to honor our experiences while inviting others to shine their own light. Embrace the truth that your story matters, not just to you, but to the intricate web of souls that surrounds you. Chapter 1. We are born seen, and then we learn to disappear. The child who danced freely before shame whispered, "That's too much." Every child possesses a boundless reservoir of expression, a dance of thoughts and feelings that spills forth in vivid colors and spontaneous movements. The child twirls in the sun, arms outstretched, laughter spilling into the air like musical notes. It is a time when joy is not manufactured. It is raw, unrefined, and completely authentic. There are no scripts to follow, no judgments to fear, just pure delight in the simple act of being. In those moments, the world feels vast and welcoming, a playground for imagination where every dream is possible and every feeling is valid. The child dances as if the very ground beneath them were a stage, each leap a testament to innocence untainted by the world's conditional expectations. Yet, as the years unfold, this vibrant expression becomes muted, silenced by the whispers of society that echo harshly in our ears. The child who danced freely begins to hear, "That's too much." The laughter quiets, the movements become tentative, and the colors fade to grayscale. Cultural messages creep in, dictating how we should feel, how we should act, molding us into figures that fit neatly into the boxes society has crafted. They teach us that vulnerability is a flaw, that unfiltered expression is something to be restrained, not celebrated. The weight of expectation tiptoes into our hearts, whispering tales of shame and inadequacy, convincing us that our authentic selves are inappropriate, too loud, too messy. This is when we start to carry the burden of perfection, measuring our worth against an impossible standard, losing the child within who once danced without fear. The truth is, by silencing that free spirit, we not only betray our own essence, but stifle the beauty of our shared humanity. To reignite that spark, we must deliberately carve out spaces for unfiltered expression in our lives, allowing ourselves to feel and move freely. Begin by engaging in activities that evoke joy without judgment. Dance, paint, write, or speak freely, shedding the layers of expectation. Remind yourself that your voice matters, and those moments of raw emotion are the threads that connect us all. When we allow ourselves to dance before shame, we reclaim the joy that comes from true self-expression. How social conditioning slowly teaches us to edit our expression. As we navigate through life, we encounter an array of subtle influences that shape our behavior in sometimes imperceptible ways. From our earliest interactions, we are threaded through a tapestry of expectations set by family, peers, and society at large. The stickers on our back, whether they read "too loud," "too shy," or "too different," are affixed with gentle hands but carry the weight of conformity. Children are like sponges, soaking up social cues that tell them when to hold back and when to step forward. This conditioning becomes a quiet mantra that echoes in their minds, often leading them to question their authentic selves. They begin to sense an invisible ledger where every deviation from the norm is marked, accounted for, and assessed against the tacit demands of acceptance. The pressures mount like a high tide, gently pushing them away from the shores of originality and toward the safe harbors of conformity. As the years shift into the rhythm of adulthood, the gradual journey from being utterly authentic to constructing a carefully curated self accelerates. What was once spontaneous expression evolves into a meticulous presentation, where every word, every gesture, and every smile is rehearsed and filtered. The genuine sparks that once connected us to others now flicker behind a veil of crafted personas. We begin to edit our feelings, trimming the rough edges because a smooth facade is more palatable in the eyes of the audience. This softening of our true selves is not always born of malice, but rather a desperate desire to belong. The irony is profound. In seeking acceptance, we often lose the very threads that make us unique. In moments of honest reflection, we might yearn for connection, pulsating with the need to be seen in our testament of vulnerability, yet find ourselves wrapped in layers of expectations, longing to peel them away but unsure of how to begin. Recognizing this shift and the necessity of our authenticity is but the first step on this winding path. Embracing the complexity of our feelings, those that are raw, unedited, and true, is a liberating endeavor. It requires a commitment to peeling back the layers of social conditioning that whisper in our ears, urging us to conform. Consider journaling your thoughts unfiltered, letting your pen flow like a conversation with your truest self, untethered from the constraints of external validation. Give yourself permission to live in the fullness of your expression, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. In doing so, you may find the courage to evolve from a carefully curated life to one bursting with the vibrancy of authenticity. The roots of hiding: fear of rejection, failure, and being misunderstood. Fear is a whispering shadow that often lurks beneath the surface of our consciousness, weaving itself into the fabric of our everyday lives. When we feel rejected, it strikes a chord deep within, tapping into an ancient instinct to belong. This fear is not just an emotional experience, but a potent driver of our behavior, forcing us into corners where we hide our true selves. It's the instinctual reaction of our fragile egos trying to protect themselves from the jagged edges of disappointment and social alienation. Failure adds another layer to this complex tapestry, unfolding like a dark cloud that looms ominously over every decision we consider. The idea of stumbling in front of others becomes a paralyzing contemplation, a fear that outweighs the exhilarating possibility of success. In this turmoil of anxiety, being misunderstood emerges as a painful thread. The heart yearns for connection, yet recoils at the thought of being misperceived or overlooked, as if an invisible barrier separates us from the world, clouding our intentions and desires. In the quiet corners of our minds, we begin to craft masks designed not just for the world, but more significantly for ourselves. These facades emerge as a protective armor, carefully constructed to shield our vulnerabilities from the harsh light of judgment and critique. Each mask represents a facet of who we think we should be in order to navigate relationships and avoid rejection. Yet, beneath this illusion lies the raw truth of our humanity, our desire to be seen, understood, and accepted. This paradox fuels a relentless cycle. We hide in order to feel safe, yet by hiding, we obscure the very connections we seek. As we grow comfortable wearing these masks, we sometimes forget the faces behind them, the genuine emotions and needs that drive our existence. Recognizing this cycle is the first step toward shedding these barriers and reconnecting with our authentic selves. It invites the possibility of vulnerability as a strength, urging us to embrace our fears instead of allowing them to dictate our identities. To navigate this intricate dance of hiding and revealing, let us commit to moments of authenticity. Share your truths, along with your fears, with someone who sees you. The active voice can be liberating. In those honest exchanges, we discover not just ourselves, but the extraordinary beauty that comes when others choose to meet us where we are, without judgment. Vulnerability nurtures connection, and sometimes, stepping into the light can diminish the shadows of fear that once held us captive. Why most people fear visibility more than failure? Many people find themselves shrouded in a veil of comfort when it comes to staying hidden, even when their dreams yearn for the light. This reluctance often stems from a fear that is more profound than the fear of failure itself. It's the fear of being seen. Choosing obscurity feels like a warm blanket, enveloping them in safety, but it's a false sanctuary. The paradox lies in the awareness that failing while visible feels like dropping your armor in front of an audience. It's exposing your soft underbelly to a world that often scrutinizes and harshly judges even the slightest misstep. In a culture that celebrates success and dismisses failure, being seen means being vulnerable, and vulnerability feels like walking a tightrope without a safety net. When a person hides away, they might avoid the sting of failure, but they also rob themselves of the chance to grow. They cling to mundane routines, convincing themselves that living in shadows is a shield against disappointment. This choice echoes loudly in their hearts, where the ache of unrealized potential resonates deeper than any failure could ever penetrate. Vulnerability goes beyond simply taking a chance. It often feels like baring your soul and risking the shards of rejection. Opening up can feel like stepping into a tempest where no preparations can safeguard your spirit from the winds of criticism. Many believe that the pain of failing is far less overwhelming than the raw exposure of being seen, where every flaw is magnified under the spotlight of attention. When the heart knows that the risk of vulnerability comes with the potential for deep emotional cuts, it opts for the cozy arms of invisibility instead. To move toward visibility, start small. Share a thought with a friend, write in your journal, or seek out supportive communities. Open the door just a crack and let the light of vulnerability seep in. It's often in these gentle acts that the profound courage to be seen begins to awaken. Chapter 2. Identity is a costume we forgot we were wearing. The personas we create to earn love, praise, safety. Desire for acceptance runs deep within our souls, like an ancient river carving the landscape of our identities. Every smile we craft, every laugh we feign, they emerge from the core of a very human need to be loved unconditionally. As children, we are natural explorers, innocent and vibrant, until the world shows us its edges. We start to learn the roles we must adopt, wearing costumes of approval to navigate the stage of life. Who we become in these moments reflects the intricate dance between our innate selves and the facades we create, draped like a tapestry stitched together with threads of others' expectations. This dance creates a multitude of personas, each designed to earn not just love but safety. The quiet kid who listens while the extroverted clown entertains. The diligent student who appears perfect while the artist beneath yearns to break free. It's a chameleon-like existence, adapting to the demands of every environment. Yet in this symphony of roles, some of our sweetest notes often go unheard. With every performance, we may gain the praise that feels so good, but risk losing touch with that delicate flame of who we truly are, our raw and unfiltered self. Our laughter and tears become tools used to navigate social landscapes, yet they also serve as a seductive mask, echoing silently as we wander through rooms filled with connections that sometimes feel only skin deep. The gulf between our true selves and the facades we don like a safety net can feel like an unbridgeable chasm. It's in the quiet moments of reflection that we begin to recognize this divide. When the applause fades and the lights go dim, the whispers of our authentic heart can be barely audible. They speak of our fears, our dreams, and the complexities that make us beautifully human. This search for authenticity is often considered a journey of unlearning, surrendering the molded identities shaped by expectations and stepping closer to the visceral core of who we truly are. Ego, image, and self-protection. The ego is often a fortress, built from experiences, beliefs, and perceptions, a protective barrier we construct around our inner self. It shields us, sometimes fiercely, from the world's judgments, inadequacies, and fears. This structure, while seemingly necessary, is often fragile in its foundation. When we encounter situations that challenge our self-worth or confront our deepest insecurities, our ego becomes a loud voice, muttering reminders of our achievements and dismissing our flaws. It convinces us to present a polished image to the world, cloaking our vulnerabilities in a mask of bravado. This dance between ego and self-image is a complex one, deeply intertwined with how we see ourselves and how we wish to be seen. Yet, as we navigate this intricately woven world, we must question whether our ego is genuinely serving our best interests or merely perpetuating a cycle of fragility, protecting us from real connection while simultaneously isolating us in a bubble of self-deception. In the quiet moments of reflection, we often find ourselves grappling with the tension between self-protection and the desire for authentic expression. When we hold tight to our defenses, we risk losing touch with our truest selves, as authenticity requires vulnerability, an unnerving leap into the unknown. This delicate balance teeters on a precipice. Will we hold onto the carefully curated image we project, or will we muster the courage to step into the light of our raw, unfiltered humanity? Authentic expression is a gift to ourselves and those around us, a bridge that connects our true essence to the wider world. When we dare to be real, we invite others to do the same, unraveling the tightly wound threads of ego and revealing the tender beauty of our flaws and fears. Choosing authenticity can be a radical act, not just a rejection of superficiality, but a reclamation of our right to exist, to feel, and to connect. In fostering authentic expression, we create a space where protection is still valued, but does not eclipse the unfolding, breathtaking truth of who we are. To navigate the delicate interplay of ego and self-expression, Remember that vulnerability is not a weakness, but an entry point into deeper connections. Allow yourself to embrace the imperfections that weave the fabric of your humanity. In doing so, you not only preserve your self-image, but expand it to encompass the full spectrum of your experiences, inviting growth, understanding, and compassion along the way. The cost of performing instead of living. Every day, we wear masks crafted of expectations, each one shaped by the desires and judgments of those around us. The approval of others becomes our compass, leading us down paths paved with their hopes rather than our own dreams. As we navigate through life, a deep-seated anxiety often follows, whispering incessantly in our ear. Am I enough? This relentless pursuit of validation takes a toll on our emotional well-being, eroding our self-worth and dimming the vibrant colors of our true selves. We become acutely aware of how our worth is measured not by our intrinsic qualities, but by the reactions of others. A nod, a compliment, a fleeting look of admiration. The burden of this expectation can feel suffocating, leaving us teetering on the edge of a chasm we have created between our authentic selves and the personas we project. In the pursuit of performing for others, we unwittingly surrender countless joys that are ours by birthright. These moments of laughter, the whispers of contentment in the quiet hours, the vibrant expression of our unique selves, these are the treasures we forfeit. Each time we prioritize a well-rehearsed image over genuine experience, we silence our inner child, that part of us that dances joyfully in the rain or marvels at the beauty of a sunlit morning. The fleeting moments of happiness, intrinsic to living authentically, are drowned out by the clamor of societal expectations. In the grand spectacle of life that we put on for the world, we forget to savor those small, delicate moments that could fill our hearts with joy. It is in those spaces of stillness and authenticity that we truly come alive, yet they are overshadowed when we are caught in the performance of life rather than the simply profound act of living. Finding a way back to ourselves requires courage. Start by carving out moments in your day to simply be, without the weight of others' expectations. Allow your spirit to breathe, embrace the spontaneous laughter and the quiet reflections. Gradually, as you shed the layers of external validation, you may rediscover the vivid joys that are uniquely yours, waiting patiently beneath the facade. Listen to your heart's whispers instead of the cacophony of the crowd. This is where true fulfillment resides. How healing begins when we ask, "Who am I when no one's watching?" Healing begins in the quiet moments when we peel back the layers of our social masks. Society encourages us to present curated versions of ourselves, to fit into the molds it has created. We become actors in a play, donning costumes that might reflect external expectations, but rarely reveal who we truly are. Behind the facade of smiles and laughter lies a complex tapestry of emotions, dreams, and fears, waiting for the courage to unravel. It is essential to confront those hidden parts of ourselves, to ask, "Who am I when no one's watching?" This question lays the foundation for a journey of self-discovery that dares us to peel off the armor and step into the unknown. As we begin this journey, we may feel the weight of vulnerability, but it is through this discomfort that true freedom emerges. Encouraging ourselves to see beyond our facades requires a commitment to honesty, not only with others but most importantly, with ourselves. It means shedding the fears of judgment, the need for approval, and embracing the messy, raw essence of our existence. Each layer we remove reveals a piece of our authentic selves, a light that has always been there, waiting for us to acknowledge it. In this sacred space of self-reflection, healing starts to blossom, like flowers bursting through the cracks in concrete, delicate yet resilient. To truly embark on the quest for authenticity, we must venture into the depths of who we are, away from the prying eyes of the world. This is where the magic happens, in the solitude of introspection. It is in the stillness when we can hear our truth speaking softly, urging us to embrace the entirety of our being. The journey is not linear. It is filled with revelations that challenge us, moments of clarity that illuminate the darkest corners of our psyche, and periods of silence that invite us to sit with our discomfort. We learn that it is okay to feel lost, to feel joy springing from sorrow, and to own our narrative without shame. To navigate this path, we can cultivate a practice of self-compassion, recognizing that the things we hide in shadows are not flaws but integral parts of our wholeness. Journaling can be a powerful tool, transforming our internal monologues into tangible words, allowing us to explore thoughts that linger in the background. In these pages, we give ourselves permission to be raw and real, to expose our truths without fear. When we confront our deepest selves, free from judgment, we allow healing to arise, revealing a profound clarity and connection to our true essence. Embracing this journey is not just an act of rebellion against societal norms. It is a return to the self, a reclamation of our spirit. Take a moment each day to ask yourself, who am I without the masks I wear? Write the answer, let it flow unedited and unapologetic. This simple practice may lead you to unexpected insights, guiding you towards a deeper understanding of your authentic self. Chapter 3. The Myth of Too Much. Have you ever been told you're too emotional, too sensitive, too intense? Words have power, and when they wound, they linger, embedding themselves in our very beings. You're too emotional, someone says, as if the depth of feeling is something to be ashamed of, something to suppress or deny. These phrases echo through our lives, creating walls between our true selves and the masks we wear to fit into a world that demands emotional conformity. Each time we hear these damaging messages, it feels as though our hearts are being boxed in, as if vulnerability is a sign of weakness rather than the profound strength it truly is. In a society that celebrates stoicism and dismisses sensitivity, we are often left to grapple with feelings we are told are excessive. It is a painful irony. Our greatest gifts, empathy, passion, connection, are reframed as liabilities. Yet, in accepting these emotions, we walk a meaningful path toward authenticity. The very being that feels deeply is capable of profound love and understanding. These emotions ignite our creativity and intuition, guiding us through the intricacies of life with a richness that is unparalleled. Sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a lens through which we experience the beauty and brutality of existence. This depth allows us to feel the world's pulse, to hear the whispers of sorrow and joy that others might miss. The world needs those who feel intensely, the dreamers, the poets, the artists who weave their emotions into tapestries of connection. Embracing sensitivity can turn the very source of our pain into an extraordinary wellspring of creativity and compassion. Being sensitive allows us to forge connections that may otherwise be lost. When we embrace our emotions, we create a space for others to share theirs. It is in this sharing that bonds deepen and healing can occur. Our emotional intelligence becomes our superpower, permitting us to navigate complex social landscapes with grace. Instead of shying away from feelings, imagine tapping into them, using them as a compass to guide your interactions and your artistry. When we start to see sensitivity as a gift, we liberate ourselves from the chains of societal judgment. We find joy in our tears and strength in our vulnerability. So embrace your emotional landscape. Allow it to be the vibrant brushstrokes on the canvas of your life. Engage with your feelings, and know that in doing so, you offer the world the rarest gift of all, authenticity. Consider keeping a journal where you explore your emotions without fear. Write freely about the moments that stir your heart, celebrating the beauty of your sensitivity. This practice nurtures self-acceptance and helps transform the whispers of shame into songs of strength. Why this is code for, you make me uncomfortable with your truth. When we choose to show our true selves, an extraordinary shift occurs, not just within us, but in those around us. Authenticity is like a mirror reflecting back not just our own image, but the hidden truths of others. The discomfort that arises in these moments is palpable. It can be seen in the furrowed brows, the shifting eyes, and the nervous laughter. This reaction is often not about us. Rather, it's an awakening of their unresolved fears and insecurities. Our honesty, our vulnerabilities lay bare what they are perhaps too afraid to confront in their own lives, igniting an instinctual response to retreat. In this dance of authenticity, the stakes grow high. When we dare to peel back the layers of our pretense and lay our truths on the table, we invite others to engage with the rawness of their own existence. Yet, this can feel threatening. Suddenly, they are forced to reckon with their own truths, and that can be an uncomfortable place to inhabit. This discomfort, however, is not a signal of our wrongdoing, but a reflection of their own internal struggles. To embrace our authentic selves is to challenge the status quo, forcing others to reflect on their own choices and the masks they wear. The feedback we receive when we show up authentically can be harsh, often laden with judgment or misunderstanding. Yet, if we take a step back, we might find that this feedback speaks volumes about the giver. Their reactions often spring from a place of discomfort within themselves, a mirror reflecting insecurities hidden deep. Our truth exposes cracks in their armor, provoking a defensive response. They may react with disbelief or attempted belittlement, but beneath it lies a profound intimacy with fear and inadequacy. To walk the brave path of authenticity is to understand that discomfort is a part of the journey. Embracing our truth might shake the roots of others' established beliefs and fears, illuminating pathways for both growth and healing. Allow your voice to resonate, inviting others to reflect not merely on what you say, but on what they dare to claim as their own truth. Reframing too much as the gateway to your power. Too much. Two words that often suffocate the essence of what it means to truly feel, to truly be alive. Society has draped this phrase in a cloak of negativity, branding those who embody intensity as too overwhelming or excessive. But what if we held a mirror to this perception, reflecting back the truth that lies within the fierce energy of being too much? What if we dared to believe that in this very excess lies a wellspring of potential waiting to be explored? When we dig a little deeper, we uncover that too much is not a flaw. It's a call to embrace our fullest selves, to revel in our strength, passion, and ability to connect with the world in a way that is uniquely ours. Imagine standing at the edge of an ocean, waves crashing against the shore with an unwavering force. Each surge represents emotions, talent, and dreams that yearn to break free from the confines of moderation. Too much does not have to mean a chaotic existence. It can signify a richly textured life, full of vivid hues and experiences that stir the soul. By challenging the negative narrative surrounding this phrase, we emancipate ourselves from the chains of self-doubt and societal expectations. We learn to celebrate our exuberance, recognizing it as the very vitality that fuels innovation and connection in our lives. Intensity is not something to fear. It is the fiery heart of creativity, an electric pulse that dances through our thoughts and actions. It invites us to step beyond the mundane, encouraging us to explore the realms of imagination and possibility. When we embrace our intensity, whether expressed through laughter, art, or passion, we spark a dynamism that inspires not only ourselves but those around us. In every burst of emotion lies the potential for creation, an outlet through which the unspoken yearnings of our hearts can flow freely. When you feel the swell of intensity rise within, instead of cowering or curbing it, lean into it. Acknowledge it as a profound gift. Experiment with how it can ignite your creativity. Write, paint, sing, dance. Let your intensity take form in the world. By doing so, you not only honor yourself, but you also inspire others to embrace their own too much, creating a collective space where everyone can flourish. Owning your light without apologizing for it. Encouraging unapologetic self-expression is crucial for anyone seeking empowerment in a world that often dims individuality. When you express yourself without fear or shame, you create a pulse of authenticity that resonates beyond your immediate circle. Consider the way a candle flickers against the darkness, drawing attention not just to its light, but to the shadows that it reveals. Each of us carries a unique glow, a story woven with struggles and triumphs that demands to be shared. Choosing to express that story unapologetically is a revolutionary act, a gentle rebellion against the constraints that society tries to impose. It's time to shed the layers of fear and doubt, to challenge the belief that your voice is less valuable than others. Each word spoken, each note sung, and every brushstroke laid down contributes to the vast tapestry of human experience, filled with colors that only you can provide. As you step into your own luminosity, remember that your brightness is not just for you. The world is richer, more vibrant, and deeply interconnected because of individuals who dare to shine. Each person's light has the power to illuminate pathways for others, to create spaces where more light can flourish. So much of what we seek, for ourselves and for one another, stems from the courage to be seen in our entirety. This is a call to honor not just your successes, but your vulnerabilities, allowing them to coexist as vital elements of your light. When you embrace all parts of yourself, you signal to others that it is safe for them to do the same. By shining boldly, you invite others to join you, laying bare their own truths and illuminating the world in unexpected ways. To truly own your light, practice affirming your worth every single day. You can begin by vocalizing your dreams, no matter how small they may seem. Let your spirit breathe in the fresh air of self-acceptance. Engage in creative pursuits that make your heart sing, and allow these expressions to flow freely without self-scrutiny. Surround yourself with those who encourage your brilliance, those who won't dim your shine but rather amplify it. Engage in conversations that uplift, where vulnerability is cherished and authenticity is celebrated. In doing this, you not only forge your own path, but also create an atmosphere that nurtures boldness in everyone that you encounter. Light the way for others, and remember, unapologetic self-expression is not just an act of personal liberation. It is an essential gift to the world. Chapter 4. The Armor of Perfectionism. Perfectionism is fear dressed up as discipline. Identifying the roots of perfectionism reveals a complex backdrop where vulnerability resides, often cloaked in the guise of high expectations. It is a careful construction built from the need to shield oneself from the painful sting of failure and the trembling insecurity of human imperfection. Many wear perfectionism like armor, protecting their soft, human hearts from the possibility of rejection or ridicule. Each meticulously polished presentation, every painstaking detail, serves as a barrier against exposure. Beneath this surface lies a deep-seated fear, a fear of being judged, of being less than what we and others demand. The worthy pursuit of excellence can morph into an unyielding need to be flawless, transforming what was once a gentle ambition into a harsh taskmaster. It is essential to recognize this cycle. Perfectionism, while seemingly disciplined, is excess baggage that weighs down our spirits and stifles our authenticity. Examining how rigid standards can stifle creativity and spontaneity reveals the claustrophobic atmosphere created by such demands. When the pursuit of perfection becomes paramount, the space for exploration shrinks. Creativity flourishes in the embrace of freedom, dancing in the presence of mistakes and uncertainty. Yet when everything is measured against unattainable benchmarks, spontaneity quivers and retreats. Each idea, once bursting with potential, begins to wither on the vine under the weight of severe judgments. The joy of creation gets lost, altered into anxiety and second-guessing. The sheer delight of producing something genuine, messy, and imperfect is overshadowed by the relentless chase for an ideal that, by its very nature, can never be fully realized. To reclaim our creative spirits, we must dare to quiet the critic within, and perhaps to scribble in the margins of our lives, embracing the imperfect beauty that emerges when we allow ourselves the grace of simply being. To navigate the delicate dance between ambition and acceptance, it's crucial to cultivate awareness. The next time the familiar tug of perfectionism pulls at your heart, take a breath and ask, what if I celebrated my imperfections instead of hiding them? Recognizing the devastating grip of rigid standards can free us from its suffocating hold. Permit yourself moments of vulnerability where creativity can breathe. Let the fear dissipate in the warmth of authenticity, and watch how liberating it can be to embrace your true self, flaws, missteps, and all. In those moments, you might find that the path to fulfillment lies not in perfection, but in the courageous act of simply showing up as you are. Why trying to get it right is a form of control. Perfectionism often wears a mask, cloaking itself in the guise of ambition while feeding on the deep-seated fear of inadequacy. For many, the relentless pursuit of getting it right can be a soothing balm, a way to navigate the turbulent waters of anxiety that swell beneath the surface. It whispers promises of safety, as if perfect performance could ward off calamity, yet this very quest can tether us to an unending cycle of stress and self-doubt. The desire to control every nuance stems from the belief that if we can just make our actions flawless and outcomes pristine, we can conquer the chaos within us. However, this quest for control can sometimes tighten its grip, transforming our earnest striving into anxiety's handmaiden, propelling us toward unattainable standards that perpetuate feelings of failure. The precision we crave manifests in hyperscrutiny of our choices. Every word spoken, every task undertaken becomes a meticulous examination under the harsh light of perfection. When we feel even the slightest tremor of uncertainty, it ignites a flame of discomfort that drives us to double down. Yet, amidst all this control, we often find ourselves spiraling into a paradox. The tighter we hold on, the more chaotic our inner world becomes. The irony is poignant. In attempting to master our anxiety through perfection, we may inadvertently amplify it. The very act of trying to shape our lives into a polished version of what we believe they should be can lead us to a place of isolation, fueling the belief that unless it's done perfectly, it's not worth doing at all. Surrendering to the allure of control can pave the way for a deeply ingrained habit of self-sabotage. It often feels like an invisible chain binding us to our anxieties, where each failure, real or imagined, pushes us deeper into the shadows of self-doubt. The paradox looms large. In our effort to ensure the future aligns with our rigid expectations, We may sidestep opportunities that could offer growth, joy, or even a mere sense of fulfillment. When faced with the prospect of taking a risk or trying something new, the urgent voice of perfectionism might convince us that anything less than stellar is simply unacceptable. This breeds hesitation and can halt us in our tracks as we become paralyzed by the fear of imperfection. Ironically, the very control we seek can thwart our progress, wrapping us in a cocoon of stagnation. When we become fixated on solving the puzzle of life with absolute certainty, we often overlook the power of imperfection, the beautiful, messy reality that life often unfurls with twists and turns we can't always predict or shape. Engaging in this dance of trying to be perfect ultimately leads us to a cliff where self-sabotage awaits, quietly beckoning us to step back and retreat into familiar habits and patterns of inaction. Recognizing this cycle is the first step. It invites us to reclaim our grace, allowing ourselves the freedom to stumble and grow. To challenge the notion that safety lies only within control requires courage, coaxing us to let go of rigid expectations and explore the complex fabric of existence with open hearts. Embrace the idea that imperfections are what tether us to the realness of the human experience. It can serve us well to let go of the desire to be perfect. Instead, seek progress, allowing ourselves the space to breathe and an opportunity to learn from falls along the way. Each stumble holds within it the seed of a lesson, a story that unfolds with every effort made in earnestness. Recognizing the beauty in imperfection can be a liberating journey, one that invites us to dance bravely amidst uncertainty without the weight of a tight grip on the reins of control. Vulnerability is rebellion, embracing the mess, the flaws, the humanness. To cultivate vulnerability is to embark on a journey toward authenticity, an act of rebellion against the facades that weigh us down. Each of us has lived behind walls, built out of fear and doubt, bracing ourselves against the world's expectations. Yet, when we begin to peel those layers away, we find that exposing our flaws is not weakness, it's a radical strength. Vulnerability invites us to speak our truth, to share the intricacies of our inner lives, and in doing so, we reclaim parts of ourselves long hidden. Authenticity blossoms in the unfiltered moments, the raw exchanges where we can embrace our imperfections with compassion and grace. It asks us to join hands, to support one another in our messiness, and recognize that there is power in being real. Stripping away the veneer of perfection unveils a rich tapestry of human existence, and through this authenticity, we may discover who we really are. In the celebration of imperfection, we find solace in our shared humanity, an acknowledging of the beautiful chaos that unites us. Life is not a linear path, but rather a series of ebbing waves, each carrying its own burdens and blessings. When we allow ourselves to be imperfect, we create a space where others can feel safe to do the same. The crooked lines, the scars, and the unguarded moments transform into stories that connect us at the core. Each vulnerability unravels the myth of isolation, revealing the common threads of our experience. The unpolished beauty is what makes us human. It is the laughter in the tears, the strength in the struggle, and the hope found in the surrender. Embracing these imperfections can lead us to profound understanding and compassion, not only for ourselves, but for one another. Let every flaw become a flower rather than a thorn, inviting us to flourish together in the garden of our shared existence. To foster an environment where vulnerability thrives, consider momentary pauses in your daily life. Take a breath and reflect on the parts of yourself that you have tucked away. Practice sharing those fragments with trusted friends or even within the quiet of your own journal. As you do, you may feel the weight of the world lift, and with each confession, you craft a narrative of resilience, inviting others to join this transformative dance of authenticity. Vulnerability is not merely a personal endeavor. It is a collective force, a quiet rebellion urging us to embrace our true selves amidst the chaos. How I learned to choose real over impressive. There was a time in my life when the shimmer of accolades drowned out the quiet hum of authenticity. I wore my achievements like a badge of honor, believing that the applause would fill the emptiness I felt inside. I recall a moment standing on a stage, bathed in the spotlight, delivering a speech that I had rehearsed countless times. The audience roared with applause, yet beneath this veneer of success, I felt hollow. Each compliment echoed against the walls of my heart, but they didn't penetrate. They only bounced back, leaving me grasping for something deeper, something real. It became clear that in my quest for validation, I had sacrificed my true self at the altar of public perception. This realization prompted a profound shift. I turned to the stories of my friends and family, the moments shared over cups of tea, where laughter spilled over like a familiar melody. These were the connections that mattered, the exchanges that carved out spaces of safety and honesty. I began to find joy in the imperfections of life, the smeared mascara after an unexpected laugh, the awkward pauses in conversation that felt comfortable rather than contrived. In fostering this authenticity, I discovered a community driven not by perfected images, but by shared experiences, where vulnerability was celebrated and imperfection embraced. It was in this space of belonging that I felt truly alive. Creating a community built on authenticity requires nurturing boldness. It's an invitation to let others see us as we are. It takes courage to step forth without the armor of perfection, yet each act of honesty invites others to share their own. One conversation at a time, we can dismantle the facade that society insists we maintain. Instead of seeking the extraordinary, we can find beauty in the ordinary. When we shift our focus from the captivating to the sincere, we not only enrich our lives, but also the lives of those around us. As we draw closer, we discover that real connections are not born from recognition, but from moments of truth shared under the light of trust. Remember, it is in embracing our rawness that we cultivate the bonds that truly sustain us. Chapter 5: Emotional Nudity. What it feels like to show your scars without explanation. Revealing our deepest wounds can feel like shedding a heavy cloak we've worn for far too long. It's terrifying to share those scars, to uncover the very parts of ourselves we often keep hidden. This act can feel like stepping into a fresh breeze after being trapped in a stifling room. There's a unique liberation in allowing others to see our vulnerabilities, as if the air that fills our lungs carries away the weight of shame and isolation. We brave the venture into raw honesty, exposing the marks left by time, love, loss, and struggle, each scar a testament to survival rather than a reason for shame. When we allow honesty to flow freely, we pave the way for deeper connections with those around us. Barriers built around our wounds begin to dissolve. It opens the door for a shared understanding that words often fail to capture. In revealing our scars, we invite others to share theirs. This mutual exchange creates a tapestry of authentic experiences that enrich our connections. It transforms solitary suffering into collective healing, fostering a sense of belonging. In this sacred space of openness, trust flourishes, and the intricate dance of connection becomes more profound. Honesty begets compassion, and in raw truth we find solace. There's beauty in vulnerability. When we show our scars without the need for justification, we challenge the social constructs of perfection that have shackled us for too long. We remind ourselves and those around us that being real means embracing our entirety, flaws, bumps, and scars included. There's a power in saying, "I am here, and I am imperfect," which can be the most stirring encouragement for others to do the same. You might even reach someone on the edge of their own unresolved pains, giving them the courage to share and connect. The next time you find yourself hesitating to reveal your truth, remember that the act of sharing your scars could resonate in ways you may never fully know, offering not only your own liberation, but also a chance for someone else to feel less alone. Practicing vulnerability in conversations, creativity, and relationships. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, yet it is the doorway to true connection. When we allow ourselves to be seen, raw, unpolished, and authentic, we create a space where others can do the same. In conversations, this means stepping beyond the small talk that coats our exchanges in a veneer of safety. Instead, it invites us to share our fears, our struggles, and our joys, creating a rich tapestry of shared humanity. One powerful strategy is to start with self-disclosure. Share a personal experience that reveals a little of your own uncertainty. This act of offering a part of yourself often opens the floodgates, encouraging the other person to reciprocate with their own honesty. Ask open-ended questions that delve deeper than the surface. What challenges have you faced recently? Or what brings you joy in these complicated times? Such questions can shift the conversation from mundane pleasantries into the realm of profound connection. Practicing active listening serves as another gateway to vulnerability. When individuals feel truly heard, it bolsters their courage to share authentically. Maintain eye contact, nod, and paraphrase what they say to show you are invested in their words. Responding with empathy, acknowledging their feelings without rushing to fix them, validates their experiences. Also, embrace the silence. Allow moments of stillness to settle between exchanges. It can encourage deeper reflection and foster honesty. In being vulnerable ourselves, we create networks of trust that can sustain us in moments of doubt, paving the way for richer, more meaningful conversations that resonate long after they end. Creative expression is a form of soul-bearing, a dance of vulnerability wrapped in the colors of truth. Whether through art, writing, music, or movement, creativity becomes a channel through which we process our emotions and share our innermost selves. When we create, we often lay bare our joys and sorrows, facing the complexities of the human experience. Engage in creative practices that resonate deeply with you and invite others to do the same. Create spaces, be they workshops or informal gatherings, where people can explore their creativity without judgment. Here, the beauty is in the process, not the end product. Celebrate imperfections as the fingerprints of authenticity, the beautiful flaws that tell our stories more vividly than polished perfection ever could. Sharing creative work can be deeply terrifying, but it is also liberating. The act of revealing our creations can spark conversations that lead to deeper understanding and connection. Encourage collaborative creativity. When we work alongside others, vulnerability flourishes. Each participant contributes their voice, their perspective, creating a mosaic of shared insights. This exchange becomes a powerful exercise in letting go of the need to control outcomes. Allowing ourselves to be surprised by the spontaneous alchemy of collective creativity leads to moments of unexpected insight and joy. This shared vulnerability nurtures an environment of acceptance, where everyone feels seen and valued. As you navigate your creative journey, remember that every piece of work, whether it meets your own standards or not, holds the potential to resonate with someone else's heart. It's in these uncovered spaces of sharing that we often find the most profound truths. As you move forward, allow yourself to take small steps toward vulnerability in your conversations and creative endeavors. Start by sharing one honest thought or idea in a safe space, whether it's with a friend or in a group. Over time, the bravery to express your authentic self expands, creating ripples of connection in the world around you. Why people connect more to your truth than your image. Raw honesty has a magnetic power that draws people into its orbit. When we present our true selves without the filters of perfection or the masks we often wear, we invite others to see us in our entirety. This authenticity resonates at a deep level. It's like a whisper from the soul that says, "I am here, and I am real." People connect with this truth because they sense it's unguarded and devoid of pretense. In a world saturated with curated images and polished appearances, the courageous act of being genuine shines like a beacon. It invites others to let their defenses down, to lower their own facades, making space for genuine interaction. This connection is not merely surface level. It delves deep into the emotional fabric that binds us as human beings, weaving strong ties based on mutual understanding and shared vulnerability. Truth-based connections serve as fertile ground for nurturing deeper relationships. When we share our truths, we reveal the very essence of who we are, our fears, dreams, imperfections, and stories. This act of sharing doesn't just bond us to others. It cultivates empathy and compassion. People respond to vulnerability with an openness of their own. So when we dare to express our darkest fears or greatest joys, we invite others to not only witness our journey, but also to share theirs. Deep relationships are built on the foundation of understanding that flourishes when we see beyond the polished surface and connect through shared experiences and raw emotions. In this sanctuary of honesty, joy becomes amplified and sorrow finds solace. Such connections lay the groundwork for support networks that encourage personal growth, healing, and unyielding loyalty. By offering a glimpse of our authentic selves, we plant seeds of trust that over time bloom into lifelong friendships and love. To foster these meaningful connections, practice the art of vulnerability. Share a piece of your story that feels heavy on your heart, or express a thought that often feels unworthy to be voiced. This simple act can open the doorway to deeper understanding and create bonds that last a lifetime. The fear of being too seen versus the pain of never being known. The fear of being too seen is a shadow that creeps into our lives, whispering doubts and insecurities in our ears. It tells us that revealing our true selves might make us vulnerable and exposed, leaving us open to judgment and rejection. Yet, within that fear lies the aching desire for connection, a longing to be understood and accepted by another soul. This paradox dances within us as we navigate our relationships, the push and pull of wanting to hide away while simultaneously craving the warmth of human intimacy. It is this balancing act that defines our struggle. To truly connect, we must step into the light we often shy away from, risking exposure while reaching for the authentic embrace of love and understanding. To navigate this delicate balance, it can be beneficial to start small. Share a piece of yourself, a thought, an experience, or a feeling that has shaped you, first with someone you trust. Notice how it feels to share, how the weight of isolation begins to lift. Gradually, as you become more comfortable, expose your authentic self a little wider. This journey is not a quick sprint, but rather a slow waltz toward genuine connection. Embrace the risk, for within those sacred moments of vulnerability, true understanding and compassion can blossom. Chapter 6: The Trauma of Hiding. How years of hiding disconnect us from our body, joy, and aliveness. Living in the shadows, we often forget what it means to feel alive. A lifetime spent in obscurity teaches us to dim our light, becoming experts at blending in rather than standing out. The disheartening effects resonate deeply within us, affecting our physical, emotional, and spiritual selves. We become accustomed to silence, to unspoken fears and unexpressed desires. This hidden existence creates a chasm between who we are and who we present to the world, leaving wounds that echo in our bodies. Fragments of our essence go missing, as if we have traded authenticity for safety. We stop listening to the whispers of our bodies, the gentle nudges that remind us of our vibrancy. In this state of disconnection, joy becomes elusive, flickering like a distant star, inviting yet unreachable. The relief of invisibility morphs into an exhausting burden, a mask that suffocates the spirit. The emotional repercussions of this estrangement from ourselves are profound. As we learn to navigate the world without genuine connection, we internalize feelings of shame, fear, and an overwhelming sense of loneliness. Every laugh that once rippled through our being feels like a distant memory, overshadowed by the heaviness of unanswered questions. Who are we beneath the layers of defense we have built? Our hearts carry the weight of unprocessed emotions, accumulating like dust on a forgotten shelf. The art of desiring, of feeling deeply and completely, becomes foreign as we mistake conformity for acceptance. Our emotional landscape becomes barren, stripped of color and vibrancy, as we avoid the raw edges of our truths. This estrangement not only dulls our joy, but also compromises our ability to connect with others. We create barriers that shield us from vulnerability, and in turn, shield us from love. It is a painful irony that to avoid pain, we often bury the very essence of who we are, leaving behind an emptiness that aches for recognition and healing. To reclaim our bodies, our joy, and our aliveness, we must first confront this disconnection. Quiet moments of reflection can act as the first steps towards reestablishing a dialogue with ourselves. Take time to feel, even when it is uncomfortable. Tune into the rhythm of your breath, the beat of your heart, and the sensations coursing through your body. Allow yourself to sit in the discomfort of memories, of laughter and loss. Embrace the fact that feeling deeply is not a weakness, but a path to freedom. It is within this raw honesty that the path to joy begins to reemerge. By acknowledging our hidden wounds and allowing ourselves to feel, we initiate a reclamation of our wholeness, transforming estrangement into intimacy, first with ourselves and then with the world. The silent grief of never showing the world who we really are. Every day, we walk through life wearing masks crafted from fear, expectations, and the weight of societal norms. These hidden selves, locked away in the shadows, ache for the light of authenticity. Each unspoken truth drips with a sorrow that often goes unnoticed, not just by the world, but by us as well. It creates a silent storm inside, a relentless echo of all the words we never dared to speak, and all the feelings we never allowed ourselves to feel. The truth is often a fragile thing, easily broken by the gaze of a judgmental world, yet it holds the power to heal wounds that we carry for far too long. A more profound pain simmers beneath the surface, a yearning for connection, for acceptance, and for freedom. For many, revealing our true selves feels like stepping into an abyss, devoid of safety or certainty. Yet the cost of silence can be heavier than the fear of exposure. To reclaim your narrative, you must first acknowledge the existence of your shadows. It requires courage to reclaim your voice, to unearth the stories buried within you, waiting for the moment they can take flight. Each tale, no matter how small or daunting, weaves together the fabric of who you are. Embrace the messy, the beautiful, the unrefined parts of yourself that long to be expressed. Consider journaling your deepest thoughts or speaking them into the void of a quiet room. Let them resonate in the air until they breathe life. You are the storyteller of your existence, and it is within your power to rewrite the script. Break free from the shame that shrouds you and allow yourself to be seen, not for who others think you should be, but for the kaleidoscope of experiences, emotions, and dreams you truly are. When you stand in your truth, waving the flags of your identity, you invite others to do the same. Together, we can create a world where real stories, unpolished and raw, hold more beauty than the filtered versions we often present. In the process of revealing yourself, remember to take it one step at a time. Begin with the small truths. These tender revelations often have the biggest impact. Each time you share a piece of your heart, you are not merely exposing who you are, but also inspiring others to shed their layers. Transformation begins when we dare to turn vulnerability into strength, allowing the warmth of authenticity to illuminate the paths we traverse together. Reconnecting with your truth, journaling, inner child work, and somatic practices. Rediscovering our primary selves through self-exploration often requires delving into the depths of our being. Each of us carries an inner landscape filled with echoes of laughter and whispers of pain, memories that shape our identities. Journaling serves as a key to this landscape, providing a sacred space to let thoughts flow freely, unfiltered by the judgments of the outside world. When we put pen to paper, we engage in a dialogue with our inner selves, giving voice to sentiments long buried. This practice reveals the layers that obscure our truth, offering insights into who we truly are beneath the masks we wear. Writing invites us to navigate through our emotions, allowing the pencil to dance across the page as our heart beats out its rhythm of joy, sorrow, and everything in between. It's in this intimate act that we can revisit our inner child, tender and unguarded, who deserves the chance to express wishes, fears, and dreams without restraint, illuminating the path to authenticity. Celebrating the practices that foster joy, presence, and authenticity is not just an act. It's a rebellion against the mundane and the expected. We have the power to cultivate experiences that resonate deeply within us. Engaging in somatic practices such as dance, breathwork, or simple stretches creates a bridge between our minds and bodies, awakening sensations that remind us we are alive. These conscious movements allow us to shed the heaviness of expectation and embrace the lightness of being. In moments of presence, we can unlock pockets of joy that often go unnoticed in the bustle of daily life. Finding rituals that spark delight transforms our experience from mere survival to a vibrant celebration of existence. Each laugh shared, every breath taken consciously, and the profound connection with ourselves and the world around us becomes a canvas painted with authenticity, showcasing the essence of who we truly are. In the journey of reconnecting with our truth, the act of embracing our full range of emotions is essential. Trauma and joy coexist within us, intertwined like vines that both shelter and strangle. Creating time to reflect through journaling, engaging in somatic practices, and nurturing our inner child helps us cultivate a sanctuary where we can truly feel. A practical tip for sustaining this journey is to set aside a dedicated space in your home for these practices, perhaps a corner where you can write, move, or sit quietly. Fill it with items that spark joy, like photographs, crystals, or art, and allow this space to absorb the energy of your exploration. Make it a non-negotiable part of your routine and return again and again until it feels like home. Through this, each visit reaffirms your commitment to discovering your truth and living it boldly. Healing isn't about becoming someone new, it's about coming home. Redefining healing as a return to the self we've always been invites us to pause and reflect on the intricate landscape of our own souls. Healing is not about shedding our skin or erasing our past, but rather a gentle embrace of every piece of ourselves that has walked this earth. It is the realization that the essence of who we are doesn't disappear in our struggles. It evolves, adjusts, and mirrors our experiences. Each scar tells a story. Each tear shed waters the seeds of growth. Allowing ourselves to understand and honor our journey can feel like returning to a warm, familiar embrace, a place we once thought was lost. When we stop chasing the idea of becoming someone new, we start to see the beauty in the raw and unfiltered version of ourselves. We discover that what was broken can indeed grow stronger, and that the tender parts of us hold immense power. Healing becomes a process of peeling back layers we've accumulated, revealing the vibrant, unpolished spirit that has been patiently waiting to be rediscovered. Embracing our past shapes a beautiful journey forward by reminding us that every experience, no matter how painful, is a thread woven into the larger tapestry of our lives. It is through our trials that we learn resilience, compassion, and the depth of our own strength. As we sift through the memories and narratives that have shaped us, we begin to see not just the struggles but the lessons, moments of grace that glimmer through the darkness. Our history is not merely a list of events. It is a collection of pieces that create our identity. By acknowledging the pain alongside the joy, we foster an authentic self that walks forward with confidence and wisdom. This reconcilement with our past allows new paths to open. It enables us to release burdens we no longer need to carry. The act of weaving past and present invites creativity into our lives, allowing us to paint a future that reflects our true selves, replete with hope and purpose. Remember, healing is less about seeking perfection and more about nurturing authenticity. Create moments of reflection, whether through journaling, meditative walks in nature, or conversations with trusted friends. Let each experience be a gentle reminder of the richness of your journey. Healing isn't a destination. It's an intricate dance of discovery, an invitation to celebrate the life you truly are. Take a breath and let the weight of the world fall from your shoulders. Step into the essence of who you were always meant to be. The process of healing is your homecoming. Chapter 7. Safe doesn't mean alive. Why comfort zones are cages in disguise. Comfort zones often feel warm and inviting, like a cozy blanket wrapped around us on a cold night. They offer a false sense of security, a place where the deafening noises of the world fade into a gentle hum. Yet, within this embrace lies a paradox. While we seek comfort to feel safe, we too easily fall into stagnation. This sense of safety can sedate our dreams and dull our ambitions, replacing the vibrant colors of possibility with a monochrome grid of familiarity. We take refuge in routines, thinking that predictability shields us from chaos. But in truth, it can imprison the very essence of who we are meant to be. Each day spent within these familiar walls blurs the lines of our potential. We become mere shadows of ourselves, content yet unfulfilled, as we trade the currency of dreams for the ease of inertia. To recognize the limits of our comfort zones requires a courageous gaze into the mirror. It demands we peel back the layers of habitual living to uncover the fears that lie beneath. Ask yourself, what have you avoided in the name of comfort? What opportunities have slipped through your fingers, masked as discomfort? The boundaries of our comfort zones are often defined more by anxiety than by reality. Step into that disquiet, embrace the unknown, and bear witness to the world outside the self-imposed walls. Each small decision to venture into discomfort, whether it be speaking up in a meeting or pursuing a long-held passion, is like a seed planted in the soil of resilience. The boldness to step outside your familiar sphere opens doors to connection and growth, illuminating parts of yourself that have long been shrouded in darkness. Life's magic dwells in those uncharted territories. It is where we discover the vastness of our potential and the richness of our experiences. Start by setting tiny challenges for yourself each week. Perhaps speak to a stranger, try a new activity, or simply take a different route home. Each step away from the familiar nourishes the roots of confidence and invites transformation. The illusion of safety versus the freedom of authenticity. Safety often wears a comforting cloak, a layer that can feel almost tangible. It lulls us into believing we are secure, sheltered from the storms of the unknown. Yet this perceived safety is frequently an illusion, a mirage that keeps us tethered to the familiar but shackled to mediocrity. When we cling too tightly to the borders of our comfort zones, we deny ourselves the rich, transformative experiences that lie just beyond the horizon of what we know. Real growth blooms in the garden of discomfort. It thrives in the spaces where fear meets courage. The moment we dare to step into uncertainty, we plant seeds of possibility that can usher in a life much more vivid and expansive than we ever thought possible. Stepping into the unknown is akin to diving into a deep, inviting ocean. At first, the water feels cold and foreign. Every wave crashing against your skin reminds you of the risks involved. Yet, as you surrender to the rhythm of the tides, the chill translates into a euphoric embrace. You realize that the unknown is not a void, but an expanse rich with new opportunities and revelations. The rewards of such leaps of faith are profound. They include discovering your authentic self amidst the chaos, finding resilience you didn't know you had, and igniting passions that had long been dormant. Each daring step compels you to grow, evolve, and redefine your understanding of what it means to be truly alive. Those experiences inspire not only personal transformation, but a courageous authenticity that resonates deeply with others, creating connections that are raw and profound. Seek to greet the unknown as an adventure, infused with the promise of growth and self-discovery. Change your inner dialogue to view uncertainty not as a foe to be feared, but as a companion that leads you towards the richness of your true essence. Allow the winds of unpredictability to guide you, trusting that what awaits is far greater than the safety of stagnation. How visibility and creativity go hand in hand. Visibility is more than mere exposure. It is a radiant force that breathes life into creativity. When we allow ourselves to be seen, stripped of pretense and hesitation, we awaken a kind of raw authenticity that invites inspiration to dance freely in our minds. Similar to how sunlight nurtures a garden, visibility shines a light on the fertile grounds of our imagination. It creates a space where ideas can beg to be born, unencumbered by the shackles of judgment and self-doubt. When we step into the light and reveal our true selves, we transform ordinary thoughts into extraordinary possibilities. This courage to show up in our full complexity offers others a chance to do the same, fostering an environment where creativity can flourish unrestrained. Honest visibility allows creative expression to flow like a river, weaving through the landscapes of our vulnerabilities and emotions. It's the act of laying bare our thoughts, dreams, and fears without the filter of expectation. When we share our struggles alongside our triumphs, we create a tapestry that resonates deeply with others, igniting a shared sense of humanity. In this openness, we find that our words, art, and ideas become mirrors reflecting the collective experience of being alive, encouraging others to unleash their creativity without fear of imperfection. It is through this radical honesty that we break down barriers, crafting connections that inspire innovation and authenticity. Embracing who we are in all our messy beauty invites others to do the same, awakening a symphony of diverse voices that harmonize into something truly profound. Aim each day to unveil a piece of your essence, to speak your truth in the most genuine way. This is the heart of creativity and the path to collective growth. To cultivate this kind of visibility, start small. Share your thoughts or creations with someone you trust. Gradually expand that circle, allowing the warmth of shared experiences to guide you. Remember, being seen is not just about the spotlight. It's about shedding the layers that no longer serve you and revealing the richness of your own narrative. Being seen isn't always safe, but it is necessary for growth. Living authentically requires bravely exposing ourselves to the world, a dance of vulnerability that is both thrilling and frightening. When we choose to reveal our true selves, we are met with a double-edged sword. Acceptance and rejection often coexist in that space. There's beauty in vulnerability, yet there's an underlying risk. Revealing our struggles, dreams, and imperfections can lead to judgment and isolation. Those moments when we bare our souls are only safe if we surround ourselves with compassion and understanding, both from ourselves and others. Still, the rewards of embracing our true nature far outweigh the risks. Authenticity cultivates connection, deepens relationships, and fuels personal growth. It invites others to step forward into their own truths, creating a ripple effect of courage and sincerity. Every moment of discomfort brings us closer to transformation. While the idea of growth often sounds appealing, the reality is that it is usually wrapped in layers of discomfort and uncertainty. Embracing discomfort means leaning into the feelings that make us squirm, the awkwardness that comes from being seen, the anxiety that bubbles up when we share our inner thoughts, or the fear of being misunderstood. Progress rarely happens without discomfort. Think of a seed pushing through the tough soil. It is only through struggle that it reaches the light. Each jolt of unease we feel while stepping into the unknown serves as a reminder that we are alive and evolving. When we embrace these feelings, we open ourselves to new possibilities. Stripping away the facade we wear for others allows growth to flourish within us. Being transparent about our struggles is the first step toward transformation. Whenever self-doubt whispers that we are not enough, it is essential to counter it with affirmations of our worth. Those shared experiences, the moments of raw honesty, become our greatest teachers. Pursue that vulnerable path. Let authenticity light the way, for it holds the promise of connection and growth. Carry this thought with you. Allowing yourself to be seen, even in its uncomfortable form, is not just an act of bravery. It's a necessary leap toward finding your truest self. Chapter 8: Becoming Unapologetic. Stop dimming your truth to make others comfortable. We live in a world that often promotes the notion of fitting in, a place where the brilliance of our authenticity can sometimes feel overwhelming to others. It's a trembling dance we do between revealing our whole selves and the fear of rejection that tightens our throats. Examining this tendency is essential. We've all experienced that moment when our truth tinged with fear is tucked away, silenced by the demands of acceptance. Each time we bend ourselves to match the expectations of those around us, we lose a piece of who we are. We wear identities like ill-fitting clothes, constricting our essence while searching for approval. This compromise is an emotional burden, a weight that can suffocate our spirit and dull the vibrancy of our individuality. When we dim our light to make others feel more at ease, we step away from the beauty in our difference, forgetting that there is a mesmerizing grace in our authenticity that is worthy of celebration. Staying true to ourselves often feels like an act of rebellion in a world that seeks conformity. Yet, there is power in embracing our genuine selves, a raw and resilient truth bubbling under the surface just waiting to break free. The external pressures to fit a mold or adhere to societal norms can be relentless, but within each of us lies an unwavering spirit that thrives on honesty. It's about finding the courage to defy the expectations that threaten to shape us into something we are not. Instead of suppressing our emotions for the comfort of others, we must learn to own our feelings, to voice our truths with conviction and grace. This journey is about more than simply being who you are. It's a rallying cry that echoes through the depths of your soul. When you refuse to hide your essence, you not only liberate yourself but also inspire others to step into their truth, creating a ripple effect of authenticity and connection. One practical step towards this liberation is to start small. Practice voicing your thoughts, even if they feel jarring or unwelcome. Attune your senses to the parts of your identity you've kept hidden and find safe spaces to express them. It's in these moments of honesty, however fleeting they may be, that you'll discover the healing power of your authentic self. Surround yourself with those who encourage your truth, who celebrate the unique tapestry of your character instead of fearing its complexity. Remember, your authenticity is not just a personal journey. It holds the potential to illuminate even the darkest corners of collective existence, forging connections that resonate with those brave enough to embrace their truest selves. Not everyone will like the real you, and that's okay. Every person carries a version of themselves that shines like a beacon, full of dreams, flaws, and humanity. Yet, when we reveal this authentic self to the world, reactions can be as varied as the colors in a sunset. Some will embrace us, hearts wide open, while others may turn away, unfurling their judgments like tattered flags. It's a reality we face, this profound truth that not everyone will like the real you. There's an ache in that realization, a whisper of longing for acceptance. But it's imperative to recognize that this discord doesn't diminish our worth. It merely reveals the kaleidoscope of perspectives surrounding us. Each encounter is shaped by histories, beliefs, and emotions that aren't always ours to carry. The dissonance of how one person may see us compared to another can be jarring. It's important to acknowledge that rejection often reflects more about the other person than about us. Their experiences, biases, and insecurities filter their perceptions like a cracked lens. Understanding this can soften the blows of criticism, allowing us to stand firm in our authenticity without feeling the need to twist ourselves into a version that pleases everyone. When we begin to embrace ourselves fully, we unlock a freedom that is both scary and exhilarating. Self-acceptance is not merely a sweet whisper in a storm. It is a powerful anthem against societal pressures. The moment we stop seeking our worth in the eyes of others, we reclaim our narrative. We become the authors of our own story, threading together the loose ends of our experiences into a tapestry that speaks of resilience and courage. In that space, we discover a quiet rebellion against the need for external validation. It's like shedding a heavy coat that never fit right, revealing beneath stark insights and vibrant colors that had long been hidden. Imagine living in a world where you no longer chase after the elusive approval of others. Instead, you breathe deeply into the comfort of your skin. This journey isn't instantaneous. It's a delicate dance of peeling back layers of self-doubt and fear. It takes practice to trust our own voices amidst the clamor of dissenting opinions. The more we nurture self-love, the less the hurt of negative reactions can anchor us. So, Embrace imperfections and idiosyncrasies as badges of authenticity. Strive to celebrate your intricacies, as they are the brushstrokes that paint the masterpiece of you. Recognize that it's perfectly okay if everyone doesn't affirm your truth. Your validation stems from an inner well that, once tapped, flows effortlessly. As you tread this path of self-discovery, remind yourself daily that it's okay if some people can't see the beauty of your authentic self. Their inability to appreciate your truth does not diminish it. Consider keeping a journal to explore your thoughts and feelings. Write about moments of doubt and triumph, reflect on the reactions of others, and articulate what you love about yourself. This practice can build a bridge from the external to the internal, fortifying your self-acceptance and illuminating your path forward. Boundaries as self-love, not walls. Boundaries are like the gentle whispers of our soul, guiding us toward a deeper understanding of our worth. They are not barricades set to isolate us. Rather, they are sacred lines drawn in the sand that declare, "Here is where I stand." When we respect our own boundaries, we send a message to ourselves that we deserve care and consideration. This practice is a fundamental act of self-love, a vow that we will no longer bend ourselves to fit the mold of others' expectations. It is in these declarations that we begin to recognize our inherent value, and this recognition fosters a strong foundation for self-respect. Embracing boundaries allows us to navigate our emotions with clarity. When we say no out of respect for our limits, we say yes to our own needs and dreams. We honor our feelings and acknowledge that our time, energy, and space are precious commodities. Boundaries teach us that we are not obligated to sacrifice our own well-being to make others comfortable. In understanding and enforcing our boundaries, we learn to tune into ourselves, listen to our needs, and act accordingly, creating a profound sense of inner peace that resonates throughout our lives. Setting limits is an act of strength, an authentic expression of who we are. When we communicate our boundaries clearly, we invite others to see us truly, without the masks we often wear to please. This honesty fosters profound connections based on mutual respect rather than obligation or fear. Relationships thrive in the soil of authenticity. They are nurtured when both parties are brave enough to voice their needs and desires. When we establish our limits, we grant others permission to do the same, creating a dance of respect and understanding where genuine connections can flourish. Boundaries encourage us to be vulnerable. They challenge the notion that love must come at a cost. True intimacy can only arise when we feel safe to express our emotions without fear of judgment or rejection. When we hold firm to our boundaries, we create a protective space that invites others in, allowing them to be their true selves as well. This reciprocity transforms our connections into something beautiful and raw, paving the way for trust and authenticity. In this way, boundaries aren't walls to keep others out. They are open doors that invite only those who respect and honor our true selves. As you navigate your own relationships, remember this. Start small. Practice voicing your needs, express what feels right for you, and see how this honesty reshapes your connections. Let your boundaries flow like a river, carving out space for authenticity to thrive. Self-respect over people-pleasing. Recognition often feels like a warm cocoon, wrapping us in sweet whispers of approval. We chase these comforting moments, believing that their fleeting glow can fill the void within. Yet, what happens when the validation becomes the very air we breathe, drowning out the quiet voice of our own selves? The shift from seeking validation to embracing self-affirmation is a transformative journey. It begins in the realization that our worth is not contingent upon another's opinion. Self-affirmation requires us to step into our own light, to understand that we are enough, just as we are. This deep acceptance breeds self-respect, a profound relationship with ourselves that requires courage to nurture. We learn to silence the demands of external approval, choosing instead to honor our innermost feelings and beliefs. It is a divine act of rebellion against the societal norms that continuously urge us to please others. Shedding the chains of other people's expectations, we become free to explore authenticity. This path is not always easy. It is fraught with the daunting task of confronting rejection and misunderstanding. Nevertheless, the beauty lies in the discovery of one's true voice, a melody that resonates far beyond the short-lived applause of the crowd. Choosing self-respect in our interactions is an act of profound bravery. It means entering each relationship not as a fragmented reflection of someone else's desires, but as a whole and vibrant individual full of dreams and fears. Empowerment lies in the subtle power of saying no, in the strength to establish boundaries that honor our well-being. When we stand firmly in our truth, we invite others to do the same. Our interactions deepen, growing roots in mutual respect rather than dependency. Imagine walking into a room, not seeking approval, but radiating confidence. Each interaction can become a sacred exchange where we share not only our light, but also the shadows that make us human. In these honest encounters, we strip away the layers of pretense and fear, revealing the raw intimacy of connection. Self-respect nurtures resilience, teaching us that it is acceptable to take up space, to voice our thoughts even amidst the chaos. It invites an unwavering sense of self that doesn't waver with the winds of opinion. Cultivating this sense of respect allows us to communicate authentically, paving the way for relationships that are built on trust rather than the fear of disappointing others. Ultimately, selecting self-respect over people-pleasing becomes a loving choice, a commitment to honor the tender spirit within us. Regular reflection on what truly matters to you can serve as an anchor in difficult times. Consider journaling your thoughts and feelings, allowing yourself to explore and affirm your worth outside the lens of others. This practice can empower you to make choices that resonate with your authentic self. Chapter 9. What it means to truly be seen. Being seen is not just about exposure, it's about connection. Being seen goes beyond mere acknowledgement. It is an intricate dance of vulnerability and transparency. When someone looks at us, really looks at us, they are stepping into a sacred space we often guard closely. This visibility opens portals to deeper layers of connection that resonate far beyond surface interactions. It's about that moment when you lock eyes with another soul and feel the pulse of shared experiences, fears, dreams, and hopes. It's a communion of sorts, where acceptance flourishes and our authentic selves emerge from behind the masks we wear. In this shared gaze, there is often an unspoken understanding, a binding of hearts that says, "You are not alone." Relationships flourish in this sacred space where we unveil ourselves, shedding the weight of pretense, and invite others into our truth. This transparency creates an environment ripened for connection, where empathy can blossom and compassion can thrive. To be truly known is perhaps one of the most revolutionary experiences we can encounter. When someone truly sees us, flaws and all, it serves as a potent catalyst for transformation. In the raw and authentic presence of another, we discover the strength to embrace our own imperfections, to celebrate our unique narratives that weave the fabric of who we are. This act of being known can shatter the walls we build to protect ourselves. It makes way for an intimacy that fuels growth. It encourages us to reach out, to connect deeper, and to share our essence, knowing we are met with understanding rather than judgment. This recognition can spark a ripple effect, inspiring others to step into their own truth. When we acknowledge each other in such profound ways, it invites a collective healing, a movement towards a more compassionate existence, where we no longer simply wander through life in isolation, but instead traverse this journey intertwined in purpose and connection. This, perhaps, is the ultimate gift of being seen. Embrace the truth of your narrative, share it, and watch how it reverberates through the hearts of those around you, fostering a community rich in authenticity. How to hold space for yourself even when the world doesn't understand. Self-compassion is the gentle embrace we should offer ourselves when the world seems intent on delivering criticism. It is a soothing balm that quells the sting of harsh judgments, both from others and within our own minds. When we find ourselves standing alone, vulnerable to the weight of disapproval, it becomes essential to cultivate an inner sanctuary of kindness. Allow yourself to feel the sting of criticism, but do not let it define who you are. You are not the harsh words that others throw into the air. You are the quiet, profound understanding that can rise above them. Acknowledge your feelings, honor your journey, and remind yourself that you deserve the same love and understanding you so readily give to those around you. The world may not understand you, but you can choose to understand yourself deeply, creating a space where your emotions are valid and your spirit is nurtured. The feelings of isolation that creep in during those tumultuous times are challenging, but they can also become a fertile ground for growth. Embrace the solitude not as a curse, but as an opportunity to connect with your inner self. Cultivating inner support is a process of learning to sit with your thoughts, to listen to your heart's whispers when the clamoring of the outside world drowns them out. What would you say to a dear friend who feels lost and alone? Offer those same words to yourself. Create rituals that uplift your spirit, a warm cup of tea, a moment of deep breathing, or journaling your innermost thoughts. In those moments of stillness, you can find the wisdom, strength, and clarity needed to bloom, even when the world feels chaotic. You deserve to feel whole and supported, and that begins with holding space for yourself. In the quiet of your mind, allow yourself to flourish. When the world feels alien to your experience, remember that you possess the strength to create a realm of acceptance and love within. Invite in the disconnect, and instead of resisting, let it guide you home to yourself. Your heart knows how to navigate the storm. A practical tip: carve out a few moments each day for mindful reflection. Whether it's writing, meditating, or simply sitting in nature, use that time to affirm your existence, to validate your feelings, and to remind yourself that you are enough, just as you are. In doing so, you hold sacred space for the beautiful, intricate tapestry of your unique experience. Finding your tribe by living your truth out loud. Authenticity isn't just a buzzword. It is a deeply rooted necessity for nurturing the kind of relationships that feed your spirit. When you choose to live openly and honestly, you forge connections that are not bound by the superficiality often found in the corners of daily interactions. Such connections emerge from the vulnerability of revealing who you are, unfiltered and genuine. Sharing your truth requires courage, but it's in that raw and sometimes uncomfortable honesty that you attract those who resonate with your light, individuals who mirror your passions, fears, and aspirations. This kind of courage invites others to shed their masks and join you in a realm where truth reigns, creating a sanctuary for mutual exploration and understanding. Resonance plays a transformative role in community formation. It is the invisible thread that binds souls together, harmonizing their frequencies as they navigate the world. When you express your authentic self, you send out ripples that touch those whose essence aligns with yours. These connections aren't always immediate or easy, but they are alive with potential. Each encounter with someone who truly sees you, who hears your story and offers their own, is an opportunity to deepen your community. The exchanges you share, raw, unrefined, yet illuminating, create an atmosphere where people feel safe to explore the intricacies of their own truths. Resonance is not merely about agreement. It's about empathy, relating deeply even amid diverse experiences. This is where transformation happens, where a tribe begins to take shape, nurtured by the bonds of mutual understanding and support. To truly find your tribe, consider taking small but significant steps toward authentic living. Start by sharing your thoughts and feelings honestly with those in your life. It doesn't have to be a grand declaration. Even a simple conversation, where you reveal a piece of your heart, can open doors to deeper connections. Be patient and tender with yourself and others along this journey. Trust that by living your truth out loud, you will attract those who resonate with your core, creating a vibrant community that uplifts and inspires. Remember, each person who shares your journey is a reflection of the environment you cultivate, one grounded in authenticity, mutual respect, and love. Letting love find you, not the curated version of you, but the real one. Vulnerability is the quiet yet powerful language of the heart, a key that opens the doors to genuine connection. In a world where we often curate our lives, presenting polished versions of ourselves to others, the act of stripping away those layers can feel daunting. Yet it is in our raw, unfiltered moments that true magic happens. When we let go of the pressures to appear perfect or always put together, we create space for authenticity. It is through our imperfections, the scars we hide, the tears we've shed, and the stories we carry, that others can truly see and understand us. These blemishes are the marks of a life lived fully, inviting others in with an unspoken permission to do the same. When we dare to show up as we are, flaws and all, we establish an atmosphere where connections flourish and love can tread softly into our lives. Seekers of love often stand at a precipice, eyeing the depths of their own truth, afraid to leap. But revealing your true self is not just about taking a risk. It's about liberating the parts of you that have long been held captive by fear of judgment. Imagine standing in a room filled with people, yet feeling completely alone, encased in a facade that shields your heart. What would it take to shed that mask, to breathe life into the hidden parts of your soul? The leap into vulnerability may feel like standing naked in a storm, terrifying yet exhilarating. Each time you dare to share a piece of your authentic self, you foster an opportunity for a heart to connect with another, not through a staged performance, but through an honest exchange. With each revelation of your true self, you become more magnetic, attracting those who resonate with your realness, who see your beauty amidst the chaos. Love finds its way to those who are brave enough to unearth their truth. It is the courage to dwell in the open spaces of who you truly are that will guide your heart home. As you navigate the landscape of your feelings, consider setting the intention to be seen, embraced, and loved for all that you are. Start small, share a secret, express a fear, or speak a desire that has long echoed in your heart. These gestures, though small, are monumental in the journey of revealing the real you. Trust that the love you seek mirrors the honesty you embody. The more you embrace vulnerability, the more easily love will flow into your life like a river rushing to meet its ocean. Each drop of your truth combined with another's creates a tide of connection, woven from the threads of authenticity that bind us all together. Chapter 10: Visibility as a Spiritual Practice. Choosing to show up fully, even when it's uncomfortable. Presence is the gentle thread that weaves through the fabric of our existence, binding the past, present, and future into a tapestry of meaning. Each moment we choose to show up fully, we breathe life into our reality. This act of being present isn't just about the physical act of showing up. It's about aligning our heart and mind with the now. Every time we let ourselves be vulnerable, we deepen our spiritual journey, acknowledging that the essence of life unfolds in the moments we often consider mundane or uncomfortable. By embracing forms of presence, attentiveness to our breathing, an open heart to others' words, or a willingness to feel our emotions, we discover a sacred truth. Everything we seek exists in the richness of now. In the quiet of being fully present, we reveal layers of ourselves that were hidden beneath the weight of distraction and avoidance. Yet, in our ambitious journey towards growth, discomfort can feel like an unwelcome visitor, arriving without invitation. We often shy away from the activities that make our skin crawl or churn our stomachs, believing that comfort is our sanctuary. But what if we redefine discomfort as a teacher rather than a tormentor? Each moment of unease is a chance to stretch, to expand, to become more than we were. When we lean into the prickly feelings, allow ourselves to sit with discomfort, we enter a space where growth begins. It is in those raw, honest moments of uncertainty that we confront our fears and limitations. Through the act of facing what makes us uncomfortable, we cultivate resilience, learning that we are far more capable than we ever believed. Rather than running away, standing firm in discomfort teaches us that vulnerability is not a weakness. It is a source of strength, transforming us into the brave souls we aspire to be. Consider adopting the practice of mindfulness in the face of discomfort. When you encounter a challenging moment, breathe deeply, acknowledging the discomfort as it rises within you. Rather than shoving it aside, invite it in for tea. Ask yourself what this discomfort is trying to reveal. It may just be the seed of your next breakthrough, waiting patiently for you to recognize its worth. Every time you choose to show up and engage with whatever life presents, even when it feels heavy or chaotic, you are crafting a life that is courageous and rich with authenticity. Expressing your soul's voice in the world, through art, words, presence. The power of artistic expression transcends mere aesthetics. It serves as a profound form of spiritual visibility. Every stroke of a paintbrush, every note played, and every word inscribed carries the weight of our inner existence. Art whispers secrets we might not dare to speak aloud, revealing truths that reside deep within our souls. It connects us to the universal tapestry of human experience, bridging the gap between isolation and belonging. When we create, we invite others to see the genuine reflection of our innermost selves, allowing them to witness our struggles, dreams, and triumphs in real time. Each piece of art stands as a testament to our journey, illuminating the path of self-discovery while beckoning others to embark on their own explorations. Finding the courage to share one's voice is an act of bravery that reverberates with authenticity. In a world that often encourages silence, daring to speak your truth becomes an act of radical self-acceptance. Each story told, each poem penned, and each canvas unveiled is a step toward reclaiming your narrative. Confidence blossoms when we understand that our voices matter. They resonate with others who long for connection. Every artist, every writer, every individual possesses a unique perspective that can inspire healing and understanding. Trusting in your ability to communicate your essence cultivates a sense of empowerment that radiates beyond the act of creation, inviting others to join you in the dance of vulnerability. Sharing your artistry becomes a sacred ritual where your spirit intertwines with that of another, creating a shared humanity that uplifts and liberates. To step into the world with your soul's voice, begin by honoring your individuality. Allow yourself to create without judgment, embracing the rawness that comes from expressing your innermost feelings. Consider setting aside time each day to explore different mediums or styles, giving yourself the freedom to experiment. Take moments to reflect on what stirs your heart and evokes your passions. Choose to share your creations, however imperfect they may appear, as a gift to those around you. Understand that vulnerability is a strength, and your courage to be seen is an invitation for others to do the same. Practice affirmations that remind you of your worth and the power of your expression. Every time you express yourself, through art, words, or simply your presence, you weave your unique essence into the rich fabric of the world. Remember, the act of creation is not solely for you. It is a beacon that lights the way for others yearning for authenticity. The courage to walk into the light without shrinking. Finding the courage to embrace who we truly are often feels like standing at the edge of a vast expanse. It can be daunting to step forward into the light, exposing the raw, unfiltered self that life has shaped through countless experiences, joy and pain. Authenticity is not merely a destination. It is an ongoing journey of discovery that requires immense inner strength. It's the quiet but persistent voice within that urges us to shed the layers of societal expectations and judgments, daring us to unveil our true essence. Allowing ourselves to be seen, with all our imperfections and vulnerabilities, demands a bravery that often eludes us. Yet this bravery is cultivated through being honest with ourselves, recognizing our worth, and believing we deserve to inhabit our own skin fully. Standing tall in our truth transforms bravery into a powerful act of rebellion against the forces that seek to silence us. Each time we choose to voice our beliefs, share our experiences, or even express our pain, we are affirming our existence and claiming our space in the world. This act, though sometimes met with resistance or criticism, becomes a beacon of hope for others who may feel trapped in their shadows. When we walk into the light, we inspire those around us to do the same, ushering in a ripple effect of authenticity that can change lives. Embracing our truth isn't always easy. Fear of rejection or misunderstanding can loom like dark clouds. However, when we dare to shine our light, we not only lift ourselves but also extend that same courage to others. Stand firm, for it is in the moments of vulnerability that we find our strongest selves. A practical approach to cultivate this bravery involves daily acts of self-affirmation. Take a moment each day to recognize one aspect of yourself that you cherish. Speak it out loud, write it down, or share it with someone you trust. These small, intentional declarations reaffirm your place in the world and nurture the inner strength necessary to walk boldly into the light. Visibility as a gift to the world. Our authenticity ripples through the world like a stone dropped into still water. When we dare to show our true selves, our vulnerabilities, our dreams, and our scars, we create a tapestry woven from human experiences. Every time we embrace who we are, we send a message of permission to those around us, creating a safe space for others to step into their own light. Authenticity doesn't just benefit the individual. It sparks a chain reaction, fostering connection and understanding. As we share our stories, we highlight the threads that bind us, revealing that underneath our diverse exteriors, there pulses a universal heartbeat of yearning and hope. When our stories intertwine, magic happens. The beauty of shared visibility lies in its ability to form communities rich with empathy and compassion. It's in those moments of collective sharing that we realize we are not alone. Every laugh, every tear, and every joyous celebration becomes the glue that holds us together. Imagine a world where each person's unique light illuminates another's path, where differences are not just accepted but celebrated. Through shared visibility, we help one another embrace the fullness of our humanity. Let us honor the sacred dance of this communal embrace, knowing that in our togetherness, we find strength, healing, and an undeniable sense of belonging. To cultivate this visibility, begin with small acts of sharing. Speak your truths, even when your voice trembles. Open your heart and invite others to do the same. By valuing your authentic self, you inspire those around you to express their own truths, creating a world that thrives on honesty and love. Conclusion: you were never meant to stay hidden. Final reflections: life begins when we stop editing ourselves. Living unedited is like stepping into a wild, untamed forest where every leaf whispers your truth and every shadow holds a piece of your soul. When we stop editing ourselves, we embrace the raw essence of who we are, letting the world see the beauty in our imperfections. The joy in unedited living lies in authenticity, a kind of freedom where we shed the weight of expectations and societal norms, allowing our spirit to soar without constriction. Imagine waking up each day without the need to polish your thoughts, to censor your emotions, or to sculpt your experiences into a pleasing narrative. This freedom enables us to feel joy in the most unexpected places. The laughter shared with friends, the tears shed in solitude, the quiet moments of realization about our path. It is in these unedited spaces that we discover the richness of life, the flavors that linger when we let our true selves unfurl, painting a vivid tapestry of our human experience. Embracing our whole selves is an act of profound bravery, a declaration that we refuse to be reduced to mere fragments of our identities. Each scar, each joy, each sorrow contributes to the mosaic of our being, forming a foundation that is resilient and unshakable. This acceptance allows us to stand tall in our vulnerability, to share our stories without fear or shame, to connect with others on a more profound level. When we show up as our authentic selves, we invite others to do the same, creating a tapestry woven with shared truths and empathy. The embrace of our whole selves is not just a personal journey. It ignites a collective awakening where we learn that it's okay to be flawed, to be complex, to be beautifully human. Here lies the unedited joy of life. The moment we recognize that our uniqueness, with all its shades, is not a hurdle but a bridge to understanding and acceptance. To cultivate this unedited existence, start by practicing self-compassion. Allow yourself moments of silence to reflect on who you truly are, beyond the layers that the world often demands you to wear. Spend time journaling without the pressure of perfect grammar or profound insights. Let the pen flow freely, capturing your thoughts and feelings as they come, without self-censorship. This practice can illuminate parts of you that have long been waiting to be seen. Set aside time to connect with the things that stir your soul. Whether it's art, music, nature, or conversation, seek out experiences that resonate with your authentic self. Embrace who you are in this moment, unedited and unafraid, and watch as life unfolds in wondrous ways. The world needs your story, your essence, your voice. Each one of us carries a tapestry of experiences, woven together by moments of joy, sorrow, love, and loss. These narratives are unique, yet strangely familiar, echoing the shared human experience that binds us all. Your story is not just yours, it reflects a piece of the universal puzzle. When you speak your truth, you create a ripple in the lives of those who hear it. Each word you share is a flicker of light, illuminating the shadows where others may feel lost. Acknowledging your narrative is the first step toward understanding the depth of your existence and how it intersects with others. It's in the rawness of our experiences that we find connection, acceptance, and sometimes even healing. Remember, your struggles and victories resonate with someone out there, waiting to feel seen and heard through your eyes. Stories are powerful instruments of healing. They provide a safe space to release pent-up emotions and allow us to process our experiences in real time. When we share our stories, we build bridges to one another. In moments of vulnerability, we find strength, as it shows us that we are not alone in our journeys. The tales we tell ripple through communities, reminding us of our shared humanity. They have the power to uplift spirits, stimulate change, and foster resilience. Each time we open our hearts to the stories around us, we cultivate a connection that transcends boundaries and differences. Let your voice rise above the noise. Let your words resonate in the hearts of others. You are not merely a chronicler of your own experiences. You are a beacon of hope, a reminder that healing is possible, that understanding can flourish, and that amidst our diverse paths, we share a common ground. Have the courage to speak your truth. Write, draw, whisper, or shout, whatever feels authentic to you. Embrace the raw edges of your narrative, for it is through these imperfections that true beauty shines. Engage with the world by sharing snippets of your essence, and watch as others are drawn in, inspired, and healed. Consider the moments of your life that have shaped you most profoundly. Look at the threads of your past and dare to weave your experience into the larger story of humanity. Your voice, your essence, these are not just gifts for yourself. They are contributions to the collective narrative we all share. In feeling and sharing deeply, we become part of a movement far greater than ourselves. Let your story take flight, knowing that the world indeed needs what you have to offer. The courage to be seen isn't about proving, it's about being. Visibility is often mistaken for mere recognition. An audience, a spotlight, applause echoing in a wide-open space. However, Its true essence resides deeper, in the quiet acceptance of oneself. To be seen is not about crafting a persona that resonates with others or molding oneself to fit societal expectations. It is about unearthing the raw, unfiltered truth of our existence. It is an intimate dance, revealing our scars and vulnerabilities to the world, understanding that our imperfections are as significant as our strengths. The courage to be visible is rooted in a profound and often painful self-acceptance. It means standing in front of the mirror in the morning, refusing to turn away from the reflection, affirming that the person staring back deserves love, respect, and acknowledgement just as they are. This journey is not about erasing our shadows. Rather, it involves inviting them into the light, allowing ourselves to exist wholly, messy, and beautiful. Visibility, then, transforms from an external achievement into an internal revelation, a practice of being present in our own skin and grounding ourselves in the authenticity of our experiences. To cultivate a life marked by genuine visibility, we must embrace practices that foster authenticity and presence. This begins with stillness, a chance to breathe and be. Taking time to listen to our thoughts, to feel our emotions without judgment, opens doors to self-discovery. Journaling can serve as a sacred space where we lay bare our fears, dreams, and everything in between. Beneath the ink, we find clarity, unlocking truths that long to be seen and acknowledged. Life unfolds in unique and often beautifully messy ways. Embracing it fully will lead to deeper self-acceptance and visibility. Committing to the practice of being present and genuine diminishes the weight of societal expectations. One becomes less concerned with proving worth and more invested in simply being. In this sanctuary of authenticity, where truth flourishes and self-love blossoms, we begin to unlock our fullest selves, finally ready to be seen and celebrated for who we truly are. And in choosing to be seen, you give others permission to do the same. When we choose to present our true selves, we create an invisible wave that travels outward. Each gesture of genuineness, every nod to our vulnerability, sends ripples into the world, touching those around us. Imagine standing in a calm, reflective pool and dropping a single stone. That stone, representing your choice to be seen, disrupts the stillness. The effect is immediate, the waves expanding with each subtle motion. Others look on, intrigued or perhaps envious, but they can't help but feel the shift. The authenticity we embody invites them to step closer, to recognize their own hidden truths. It's an unspoken call to action, a reminder that their voices, too, deserve space. The mere act of showing up as our unfiltered selves can inspire courage in others, leading them to confront their own shadows. It's a delicate dance where one person's bravery ignites a spark in another, creating an orchestra of shared experience. When we dare to be visible, we stitch together a tapestry of shared stories woven tight with threads of vulnerability and strength. Each story told is a hand reaching out, an invitation for others to step into the circle of authenticity. The beauty of this journey lies in its shared nature. Visibility is not just about the individual. It is a collective triumph, a celebration of interconnected souls daring to expose their hearts. Each time someone stands in their truth, a beautiful exchange unfolds, revealing the power of belonging. It empowers others in their struggles, letting them know they are not alone in their pain or joy. There emerges a profound sense of community, where people offer different perspectives while honoring their individual journeys. Celebrating this courage becomes an act of resistance against the societal pressures that prefer us hidden. Remember, by choosing to be vulnerable, we cultivate spaces where others can gather, reflect, and flourish together in their newfound bravery. To nurture this authenticity within yourself and others, start small. Share a piece of your story in a safe space, whether through writing, art, or conversation. Create opportunities for those around you to express their truths, fostering an environment where vulnerability is welcomed. This simple act of sharing can spark a powerful movement, encouraging everyone to step into the light of their own unique existence. You've made it here, not to the end of a book, but to the beginning of something real. You've walked through the stories, the shadows, the moments of hiding, and you've stood in the light, even if it flickered. And maybe now you understand. Being seen isn't about performance. It's about presence. Let this book be a permission slip to unhide, to speak, to dance, to feel too much, to stop filtering your soul. Because the world doesn't need another polished version of you. It needs your truth, your voice, your messy, radiant aliveness. And in choosing to be seen, You show others that it's safe to do the same. Thank you for being here. We see you.